right. So apparently there's some rumors already going around for Avengers Doomsday, some leakages of the basic plot points of the movie. And what does that not surprise me? But we have an article here from the March 5th of 2025. I'm not saying this is the article we're reading, but this just kind of gives me a thing here. Russo brothers on how they're combating spoilers. Well, apparently, combating spoilers didn't exactly make it so there weren't any spoilers. Oops. So we'll hop on over here to some spoilers that apparently John Campea claims are real. And if anybody knows anybody, we sure should trust everything John Campea says. But the things that are in here, I kind of believe just because, well, it's shit. So, the full plot, they can't spell, description of Avengers Doomsday. Oh, so we'll go over some of these here. Avengers Doomsday opens in New York City on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's Earth. He's fighting Deadpool and Wolverine, who have been sent there with a planet-killing bomb built by Beast to destroy Tobey's world in order to save their own universe from an incursion. Now, here's where I already have a problem. And it depends on how the movie goes about this, but I think they're just going to be like, oh, look, Beast made a big boom boom. Beast, no matter what version of Beast you're using, especially from like the cinematic universe, there is no way that he would be like, you know what? Let's make a big boom boom to kill billions of people. I just don't see that happening. But moving on. Tobey battles Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who manages to plant the device. Wolverine stays behind when it detonates, and both he and Tobey's Spider-Man, along with everyone on that Earth, are killed. Deadpool escapes and returns to his own Earth, which we see in the distance. Charles Xavier watches the destroyed world below with sadness, but they had no choice. And I don't think the character of Charles Xavier would do that either. I really don't see him. I don't see Professor X going out and going, you know what? I guess we can go kill billions of people. I just don't. That doesn't fathom in my brain that that's something that he would do. We then cut to Tony's funeral. Steve speaks with some of the heroes, including Ant-Man, before returning the stones. He goes back in time and chooses to stay with Peggy. We already know about that. They have a son, Jim. Well, fuck, I'm screwed. One day, Loki visits them. This is before the Loki season 2 final. Fuck. He tells Steve about the TVA and warns him that they'll be soon pruned the timeline because Steve was never meant to live there or have a son. Loki offers them some time, but see here. Before leaving, Loki gives Steve a special card to contact him. So Steve and his family lived there for 10 years. Steve and his family lived somewhere they weren't supposed to be for 10 years. The TVA could have come and pruned them for multiple times and multiple timelines, because I'm sure the place he gets moved to probably wasn't supposed to have him there either, right? If you're not in your original timeline, you're not supposed to be wherever you get moved to. That makes the most sense to me. So him and Peggy and their little boy, who's, I'm going to say, probably 10 or 11 at this point now, all live somewhere out of a timeline they're not supposed to be in, but magically, the TVA doesn't notice for 10 years. Okay, plot hole there, I suppose. When we see Doctor Doom visiting Sue and Franklin, they clearly know each other. Doom says he has come to speak with Reed. He warns him about the incursions and reveals their universe is next. He proposes a plan, but they must travel with him to Earth 616, which is technically would be our Earth. Doom also asks Reed whether it's possible for someone in their universe to be living there. So they scan the planet and discover an an anomaly. I can't read. Holy shit! Steve and his family. Well, like I said, the TVA should have, I don't know, caught that 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. But okay. They confront Steve, who recognizes them after living there for a decade. They explain the incursion and ask him to come to 616 to help convince the Avengers to trust Doom's plan. I'm sure that's good. They travel there, and Steve successfully persuades their heroes to listen. Well, yeah, because he's Steve Rogers and they trust him. Why wouldn't he be able to successfully persuade them to listen to it? They're his friends. You usually tend to listen to your friends, okay? Where was I at? Oh, yeah. I can't highlight this stuff, so it's hard to follow it. The next, they visit the X-Men's universe, but the X-Men are hostile. Well, yeah, okay. They've survived multiple incursions and trust no one. They assume the MCU heroes and the Fantastic Four have come to destroy them and attack Reed and had come to destroy them and attack. Well, I don't know. I guess if if the X-Men's version of surviving incursions is going and blowing up other universes, killing billions of people, excuse me, as I was saying, if your version of protecting yourself from incursions is going to other universes and murdering billions of people, maybe the first thing you would think when somebody comes from another universe is they're gonna fuck you up. I mean, that seems pretty on point, I guess. Reed and Doom explain their solution to build massive cannons on each Earth that will permanently separate the universes and stop the incursions. So they want to use, this is what I'm assuming, they want to build these big, huge cannons and point them toward each other and fire them at the same time so that when they fire, they will push each other apart. So basically, they want to use the Earth like two big, giant, Earth magnets, just with boom booms. Okay. Let's see. Meanwhile, Steve tells Thor he met Loki, who was still alive. Thor asks Steve to take him. Using Loki's card, they locate the TVA, but when they arrive, dun dun dun, everyone is dead and Loki has had his heart ripped out. Well, big surprise there. They realize Doom is responsible. Well, how do you realize Doom is responsible? Do they just look at each other and go, "Tuh, well, obviously Doctor Doom did this." Oh, where was I at? Steve goes back to confront Doom, who then reveals his true plan to allow the incursions to happen so he can rebuild the multiverse in his own image and resurrect his dead family, which you could have just done anyway. He takes Steve to his castle in Latveria on his Earth. There, Steve meets Doom's followers, masked witches, okay, whatever. One of them impersonates Peggy to manipulate him. Well, does she impersonate Peggy's boobies? Because that would be very easy to manipulate me. If you could impersonate Peggy Carter's tatas, I'd be very, very manipulable. Let's see here. Where was that? Oh, I lost my place. Doom reveals that Steve's presence in their universe is what triggered their incursion because he didn't belong there. It also led to the death of Doom's family. Because Doom became obsessed with stopping the incursion, conducting dangerous experiments, one of which failed, killing his family and leaving him disfigured, forcing him to wear the armor and mask. That's right. This is another, they're starting to make Doom sound like an MCU woman. They really are. No accountability. Dude does experiments, and his experiment is what killed his kid and his wife. But no, it's not his fault. It's entirely somebody else, right? So as revenge, Doom kills Steve's son in front of him. You know for a fact that this son is going to show no signs of being quote unquote non-binary or any of the LGBTQ blah blah bullshit, right? This is going to be just a regular, good old fashioned blonde haired, I'm calling it now. This is going to be a blonde haired, blue eyed kid. So they can do the whole. Yeah, because if this is anything other than a blonde haired, blue eyed boy, I would be amazed. And I mean, like, totally fucking amazed. But we definitely know, not a girl or one of the LGBT. Let's see, Doom announces the Avengers are coming and Latveria prepares for war. The Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the X-Men unite and their march to Latveria. Thor prays to Odin, who sends an army of Valhalla. So basically, they do the big, battle scene things, okay? Let's see. Eventually, the universe crashes to crash. Fuck. Universes crash into each other, and everyone's destroyed, killing everyone except for Doom, of course, because he stole Loki's powers and makes Battle World. Oh my god, this is horrendous. This is complete garbage. Oh, I don't really know what to say about this. I mean, other than what I've already said. I didn't think this is going to be like the best of movies, but this looks like garbage. Well, what do you think? Do you think this is going to be garbage? I mean, it's going to be flashy garbage, and maybe it won't be as bad as I think. Anyway, let me know down below, and do me a favor, hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you later on. Bye bye.